Hey, this is Liam, your narrator. Just want to say a very quick thank you to all of you listening, watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, and all of that good stuff. It really helps out the channel and is much appreciated and very encouraging for me. So with all that said, let's get into the story. In the sweltering heat of a Chicago summer, Jamie and I first stepped into the notorious theme park, Terror Towers. Known far and wide for its bone-chilling rides and unsettling spectacles, the park held a strange, almost hypnotic allure for us. This reputation had long made it an unmissable attraction for our family's annual summer trip. However, even as we crossed into the park, the air was filled with a distinct unease. The otherwise welcoming sense of popcorn and cotton candy clashed with a disconcerting metallic undertone. This unsettling sensory experience left us feeling strange, a sense of unease settling like a shroud over our initial excitement. I looked around and took in the sight of the staff. Their faces unnaturally pale beneath the Terror Towers branded caps. Their smiles seemed strange, almost plastic, and their eyes held a faraway look, as if they were staring into a world we couldn't perceive. It was a chilling sight that stuck with me, no matter how much I tried to brush it off as just a part of the park's eerie appeal. Jamie, always the more perceptive one, gripped my hand tightly. I looked down to see a flicker of unease in his bright brown eyes. "Something's not right, Mikey," he muttered, barely audible over the distant screams and laughter from the park's terrifying rides. I could only nod in agreement, my gaze lingering on the ghostly faces of the staff. Our parents, meanwhile, were blissfully lost in their own world of thrill and excitement, dismissing our concerns as childish fear. As the day went on, we were swept up in the whirlwind of the park's offerings, between the chilling screams in the haunted funhouse, the thrill of the roller coasters that seemed to defy gravity, and the heart-stopping sideshows. We managed to suppress the feeling of unease that had been plaguing us since we arrived. The park was a hub of adrenaline and screams, a place where fear and fun intertwined in an unforgettable experience. However, as the sky began to darken, the crowds thinned until we were practically alone in the park. The setting sun cast an orange-red glow on the empty park, casting long, eerie shadows that seemed to dance and twist in the flickering light of the park's lamps. It was then that we found ourselves standing before the enormous, ornately decorated iron gate, the park's exit. It was locked, its cold, forbidding steel a stark contrast to the promise of freedom beyond. Panic welled up inside us, only to turn into sheer terror as we turned to find that our parents were missing. Dad had wandered off earlier, following a staff member in the hopes of finding someone who could unlock the gate, while Mum had been enchanted by the melancholic tune of a rusty old carousel. Their sudden disappearance felt like a punch to the gut, our fear mutating into a raw, animalistic terror. The park took on an even more sinister appearance as a dense fog began to creep in, swallowing the lights and turning the once vibrant attractions into looming silhouettes. Each echo of our voices as we called out for our parents seemed to mock our helplessness, amplifying the icy fear that had taken root in our hearts. In the ghostly stillness, Jamie stumbled upon a discarded toy, a ragged old stuffed animal with eerily glowing eyes. As he picked it up, its mouth moved, whispering in a voice that sent chills down my spine. "Stay forever!" The eerie message transformed our fear into something even darker, and the park, which had once promised a day of thrills, now resembled a nightmarish hellscape. Despite the mounting dread, we trudged on. The spectral staff seemed to materialise out of nowhere, watching us with distant, sorrowful eyes. We felt their gazes burning into our backs as we explored the fog-shrouded park, every moment feeling like an eternity. Our aimless wandering eventually led us to a haunted mansion tucked away in a corner of the park, the Ghoul's Den. As the creaking door swung open, we were met with a sight that stopped us in our tracks. Our parents, trapped in a swirling vortex of spectral energy. The ghostly staff stood around them, their faces etched with sadness and resignation. A female staff member stepped forward, her voice a shallow, hollow echo in the vast mansion. "We're trapped here, in Terror Towers." Her confession sent a chill down my spine. We weren't just trapped in a park, we were caught in another dimension, the ghostly staff, our spectral jailers. The sheer horror of our predicament threatened to break us, but we knew we couldn't give in, not when our parents were in danger. With newfound determination, we plunged into the vortex. The park shook as we pushed through, the ghostly hands reaching out to us, seeming to slow down time. And then it was over. The vortex collapsed and our parents were free. We stood before the now open gates, hearts pounding in our chests. We didn't waste a moment before rushing out of the park, the ghostly staff forever trapped in their spectral prison. Jamie and I found ourselves standing outside in the crisp night air. Looking back, the park's neon lights shimmered eerily through the evening fog, as if mocking our attempts to escape its ghastly grasp. Terror Towers, once a simple theme park in the bustling city of Chicago, had become a symbol of our fight against an unfathomable terror. It was no longer a mere tourist spot. It had turned into a cruel, never-ending nightmare that had nearly cost us, our parents, and our sanity. Hey, it's Liam again. This is a little Easter egg for all of you who have stayed right up until the end. Big thank you to all of you. And I look forward to sharing more stories with you very soon in the next video. Take care.